Hey people, D-Man here, and today I am reviewing another Amphibia episode, this time episode 5. Now this one has another 2 episodes to it, or 2 parts to it, whatever you want to call it. And it was fairly good. I'll do spoiler-free then spoilers. So, there's 2 parts to this. There is fixing Frobo and Anne-sterminator, or Terminator. Which are very interesting. So, how to talk about this without spoiling it? Well, the first one is obvious. It's about Frobo and mostly Polly and 2 new people, but we'll get into that we'll get into that in spoilers. And the second one is also kind of self-explanatory. It's the robot that wants to kill Anne for a specific reason, and something interesting happens in it, which we will talk about. Well, 2 interesting things happen in it, not just 1, 2, which we will talk about in spoilers. So, let's get into spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Just remind you to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, share this video, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below.
So, spoiler alert. Okay, so let's get into the first part. Fixing Frobo. So in this part, Polly is very, she wants to fix Frobo, like, a lot, because she misses Frobo, and Frobo's been dead for quite a while now. I think it's been probably over a month or something like that, since they've been there, a few weeks at least. So Frobo's dead, and she wants to fix him because she misses him. And the rest of them are just like, hey, let's not fix him right now because that's crazy. And he's another worldly robot. Let's wait till we get back to Amphibia. And she's just like, I'm going to fix him right now. So she looks up on she looks it up on like the equivalent of the internet there, like YouTube and stuff. The equivalent there, I guess. And she finds these 2 girls that are mechanical people, I guess, and they tell you how to make robots, just like you could probably find on actual YouTube and probably Google and everything else. And basically they tell through videos how to like do certain things and stuff, and eventually Polly almost completes her goal, but it doesn't work. So she actually gets in contact with them through like through some kind of face app or whatever on the computer, and they basically tell her how to make it work with a power cell, and she does it, and then Frobo comes back to life. But Frobo is default Frobo, I guess, where he's just like on his default settings until Polly can convince him to turn back into normal, which is pretty interesting, pretty cool, I guess. So yeah, Polly convinces him to turn back to normal, and he does, just in time to save her because he kind of goes crazy when he's in his default form. So he turns back to normal. He saves Polly and dies again, or seemingly dies again. But then it turns out he's alive, but just his head. He's just a head right now, and that's all he is. I don't know if he can... No, I think he can talk, but I don't know for sure. Anyways, he's just a head right now. And the 2 girls that were talking to Polly are there to help her refix him, I guess. Because I guess they lived in the same town. I don't know. But they were there, and they're just like, ooh, look at this. This is awesome. And they're talking about robotics and a bunch of stuff I don't know anything about. And then there's a little gag at the end where it's just like, where Spurger's just like, maybe we should have been learning stuff off the internet too, instead of watching cat videos. And then they're like, nah, let's just dance to cat videos. Pretty funny. Pretty interesting. And then the second part happens, or the second episode, whatever you want to call it. Anne-sterminator, or Anne-terminator, or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty interesting. Basically, this part is showing more of how Anne has changed. But her conscience, her guilty conscience is starting to get to her. And she's just like, maybe I should tell my parents what actually happened. And she tries to ask Sprig about it, and Sprig's just like, you know what, just do it, man. If you feel bad about it, just tell him. Sort of thing, you know? But at the same time, King Julius? No, that's not his name. Is it? The king of Amphibia basically tells the killer robot to go kill the girl or else he's gonna die. So he sets a detonator. Unless he kills Anne, he's gonna blow up. And of course, the robot goes there, and there's a certain part in there where Frobo actually detects this robot coming, but doesn't warn anybody. So I'm assuming in the future he will be a warning system. Hopefully they can get that matted out before more robots come. But I'm assuming he will be a warning system because he definitely knew it was coming. But anyways, this robot comes, not caring to be hidden anymore, and just starts destroying their house and running after them, including Anne's parents. And Anne's parents are very upset with her for not telling them. So there's a giant car chase. It's pretty cool, pretty epic. And at the end, they end up at this junkyard. They end up at a junkyard, and they end up fighting this robot till they win. And then Anne uses her powers to kick it in the sky because it's going to explode, and the explosion is pretty darn big. And basically, this whole time, her and her parents were kind of arguing. Her parents are very upset. She's very upset that they're upset. And at the end, they're like, listen, we're going to solve this as a family, including the planters. She's also considering them as like part of the family too. So that's pretty sweet. That's a pretty sweet thing where now they're going to know what actually happened and why it happened. And now they're going to work together to solve this. And to be honest, I will say, Anne could have told her from the very beginning, because Anne could have told them, I guess, her parents from the very beginning, because the robot wasn't after the planters, it was after Anne. So it wouldn't have mattered if her family was just like, we're not taking the planters because of that, because the robot would still only be after Anne. Just saying. Just throwing that out there. Just kind of funny to think about, I guess. That even if she told them beforehand, she would have still been in just as much danger, and so would the Earth be, because there's still an invasion coming. So it wouldn't matter even if they found out beforehand, but whatever. Anyways, after this happens, we assume that she's going to tell her parents off screen. And then we see that the government finally has noticed, or has been noticing, these weird occurrences, and now is going after Anne and the planters. And the Boon Choice, I assume. Which will be very interesting, to say the least. And I'm assuming at the end of it all, when the invasion comes, they'll have to help as well. Because, you know, they have to protect the planet and the government and whatnot. But yeah, so they're after the planters now. And I'm assuming the king of Amphibia, King Julius, is that his name, Julius? I don't know, Andreas, that's his name, Andreas. King Julius is from Madagascar, isn't it? Andreas, I'm assuming he will be sending more robots, drones, so on and so forth, and it'll be very interesting. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification as the best I can my channel. Link down below to my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, our friends, stay sane. Peace. Just remind you to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, and share this video. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below. Shadow, my baby, I love you so much. You're my baby. And you love to sleep in the bathtub. Because you're a weirdo. Shadow, look over here, buddy. Look over here.